Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapache, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and listening to us rant and ramble about the inner workings of the sport of professional boxing, stuff that happens in the ring, and oftentimes stuff that happens outside of the ring, because we're going to go over a few of those here in this
Like
conversation.
things at county fairs.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's you know, altercations that transpire at the Ferris wheel, stuff like that.
Ah,
uh,
yeah,
that
yeah.
we can get into, of course, things that happen inside of the ring, like yesterday's top rank card, that co-main event and main event that was pretty substantial. It's a pretty slow news week. It's a pretty slow boxing week, but we've scavenged the fucking the internet, the interwebs, to find some sort of stories to come and bring it to you guys, so we can have something to talk about, because there's plenty to laugh at, quite frankly, this fucking week. But before we get into all those fun details, and there's not that many, Andrew, what's happening, dude? How you doing?
Very good. You know what?
Mm.
Slow weekend, dude. Finally got a chance to stay home. Great weather, so probably should have took the kids out, but we didn't. Um,
The one
we,
time it's a slow, you're like, stay home, great weather, but I'm staying indoors. Like,
yeah, no. You know what? I cleaned the backyard Saturday afternoon, so that's what I did Saturday morning to the afternoon. It needed it. It was time. The kids are now asking for a new playhouse. You know that play structure thing, the slide, the swings.
mm, mm,
I've been wanting to tear it down now for a year or so. I don't know. I told my wife a while ago. I seen some new ones,
mm.
and she's like, "Nope." My wife's very big on memories, right? Like, nope.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right.
Well, the kids are now saying it, so I got a little ammo now. I got a little
Oh,
backup now.
yeah.
So hopefully we can get that in the works here in the process, getting a new play structure in that backyard. So, but that was it for me, dude. Cleaning
All
up
right.
and barbecuing. We barbecued the
Oh,
hamburgers 2 days in a row.
oh, hell yeah.
Watched my Raiders lose.
Mm.
We didn't watch it, but we seen it. Oh,
Oh,
we,
it's
you know
preseason
what?
is underway. Preseason.
Yeah, preseason. We had
Mm.
to watch on fucking TikTok because I'm not buying the NFL. I'm not buying the
Oh,
NFL ticket, dude.
nah.
Not doing it. Fuck Mark Davis. He's not. They're not doing that to me.
Mm.
Not. I don't buy $80 white T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. The fucking Raiders are a white T-shirt right now. You know what I mean? You want me to spend another $300 to watch a team that hasn't won a Super Bowl in 30 fucking years? You're tripping. I'll go to the games. I'll support them like that because it used to be a family thing, right?
Mm.
That's what. See, people don't understand. I keep telling you the Raider games because we were so good in the parking lot. We weren't that great on the field, so we had
True.
to be good in the parking lot, either fighting, barbecuing, hanging out, partying.
Yeah,
That was
throwing the
our
ball,
thing. Yeah,
throwing the
that
football.
was our
Yeah.
thing, right? That was our little niche. So I want to do that again, but I'm not trying to spend whatever hundreds of dollars it is to watch this team on NFL. And they lost again. You know,
Mm.
I know it's the preseason, Miguel, but I like to just see some wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Hey,
like to put some tally on the win side. Come on now.
Miguel, there's one, and I don't think it was yesterday's game. It was the first game. The Raiders had the opposing team had no timeouts, Miguel, and there was under a minute left, or like a minute and 15 seconds left in the game. The Raiders were up by one. The Raiders coach then called three timeouts in a row for the opposing team. No one knows why. They were they were laughing at us,
Yeah.
Miguel, and I hate that. I know it's the preseason, but I hate that the commentators constantly laugh at this fucking team. You know what I mean? And there they were again, like, dude, the last time out was pathetic. I'm even mad. I know it's preseason. I just want him to tell me why. You know, if he tells me, look, I was looking at a certain player and I wanted this fucking guy to have the best play possible to see if he could make the play. That's what I was doing. I would go, you know what? Fuck it. It's preseason. He needs to tell us that though,
Mm.
because when you just look at football and the team has no timeouts and they need to score, you usually don't call a timeout for them, Miguel. And we called three.
It's like, I know it's just preseason, but y'all ain't doing yourselves any fucking favors. You're not really helping your case.
It looked like one of the biggest fixed games I've ever seen. He straight gave them breaks all the way to the field goal, and then they kick, they win. I bet on the game. So I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Uh,
Hey, I know we're supposed to talk boxing. Hey, it's football season, you guys. Or
Yeah, we're gonna
you
bring
know.
it up at some point, of course. We did it with Fight Net. We're gonna do it here. I can't go back and forth with it with the way Lee used to, because I don't watch fucking football, but we can definitely let you sound off by all means, because you don't have Lee talking about the Chargers or whomever the shit, right, that we're talking about. That was his team. Funny side story, not to do with football, but I mean what I was doing earlier today before I fucking got here. For many of you who may or may not know, I live in Vegas. Right. And here in Vegas, we have slot machines in supermarkets. We have them in 7-Elevens. We have them at the airport. We have them, gas stations everywhere. It's just kind of how it is, right? Most of them are like video poker stuff, which is the only thing that I play. I know every so often you go to Reno, right, and you go and you gamble on some fights, in regards to gambling. That was a segue of the point. But I was playing video poker earlier today at the fucking, Smith's. I don't know if you guys have a Smith's chain where you guys are at, but it's just
Nope.
a supermarket chain. That's all it is, really. Anyway, so I was playing, right, and I got $20. My dad got $20. He's sitting next to me. We're playing. I, Dude, the $20 that I put in there lasted me like an hour. No
Nice.
fucking joke. Now,
Nice.
here's the thing. It only ever gave me more. I mean, the total on the bottom right hand shows the total of the credits that I have, the $20. It only maxed out at like 30, $37, something like that. Basically, it would give it to me and then it would take it away. And then when I'm like $3 left, it'll give it back to me again. So I was doing that back and forth, right? I'm like, shit, I played so long. I shit you not, dude. And this is only video poker because I don't know how to play anything else. I got 10 full houses. That's how long I played in this shit. 10 fucking full houses. And it only gave me like up to like 30 some odd bucks again. And then to take it. And then my dad was like, damn, this machine doesn't want us to go. I'm like, I know. My dad had already finished. He's over here just watching me, like, all right, yeah, let's keep going. Fuck it. Right. So, dude, I for a quick second, I was like, you know what? I got to tell Andrew, I'm going to be fucking stuck here for a hot minute because this shit is like not letting me go. I left with nothing. I lost the $20. It doesn't really matter. It's really not the
Right.
point. But I was like, this is the craziest, this is the longest I've ever played on one, $20. I thought it was going to give me something at some point, but it became a joke. I had like 6 full houses and I was like, oh, dad, 7. And he's like, oh, shit. Right. And he's like, oh, dad, 8, and it's just like, dude, by the time I got to 10, he's like, this place is going to blow up. Anyway, it
It's
just was
nice.
weird.
It's nice when the machine will slow play you, right?
Yeah.
I hate when you go up to a machine. It's like, bam. You're like, oh, really? Really? That's what we're doing right now? Fuck
Yeah.
you too. You walk away, right? It's like, I didn't get one win. So that's no. As long as you get the opportunity at winning, I'm all good with it taking
Yeah.
my $20 or whatever, right? Because we're all there. It's gambling. That's
Yeah.
what it is,
It's entertainment. We're being paid to be, and I mean, we're paying to entertain, to be entertained.
right?
All right. Well, anyway, just thought I'd throw that at you because I am, a Vegas guy. But anyway, so we had some fights yesterday. If you guys happen to tune in to ESPN Plus or ESPN, there was actually a UFC card as well that turned out to be pretty good. But it's a very slow, weekend for boxing. But we did have some boxing. We had someone who at one point, I want to say, it was the mandatory for, or I don't say it's mandatory, but it's a potential opponent for Canelo at super middleweight, Christian Mbili, if I'm pronouncing his name right.
And Billy, yes, sir.
He ended up coming away with a unanimous decision victory over Sergey Derevianchenko, if I can pronounce his name properly. He's kind of on the way out, right? Derevianchenko, we kind of know that he's had some tough fights with Triple G, I think Daniel Jacobs as well, a few others. I think one of the Charlos as well. So the guy's been around, right? I think he's 38, I think it was, and it was pretty entertaining fight. It was okay. It was fun. I enjoyed watching it because frankly there was no other boxing on. And Billy came away with the victory. Of course, it was a unanimous decision victory. Although he didn't look that impressive. He came away with the win. Great. But we are talking about a 30-some-odd-year-old Derevianchenko who I want to say in the 4th or 5th round tore his bicep or ripped it. I don't know what the term is, but it's one of those things where it fucking rips and then it curls up into itself kind of thing. It was a little bit of a strange moment when it happened. Sometimes when injuries like this happened, it happens when he's throwing a punch or when he lands a punch and lands it awkwardly or something like that. It looked like it was at the end of the round, basically. He was like throwing like a little half-ass jab right at the round ended, and The referee comes in to stop it. Puts his hand in to stop it, and it kind of just like moves his arm over, and then boom, it rips. I'm not saying that it was the referee's fault, but it just seemed weird that that's when it happened. They had a great overhead shot of seeing it, his arm still extended, and then that shit just rips up, and it was quick where I don't even think he realized it. It wasn't until he was actually walking back to his corner that he shook his arm a little bit, and he's like, oh shit. And they did a pretty good job of like icing and everything, but he was pretty much a one-handed boxer for the rest of the fucking fight, which sucked. But he had to do what he had to do as far as boxing. I won't say outboxing, but boxing and Billy as much as he could. My dad is convinced that if that didn't happen, Derevchenko could have beat the fucking dude. So it's like, well, Billy is undefeated, and he's looking at like he's a muscular guy, right? And he had the gas in the tank to go the 10 rounds and throw as hard as he did, but does he not have the power? I mean, he's knocked people out. It just seemed weird. With Derevchenko's chin again is that Ukrainian power. It was funny because Timothy Bradley was in there. I can hear him, through the whole fight, like stopping the fight already. Want to stop the fight? It's like it's not worth it. What is this for? What's he doing this for? Kind of thing. And I think Tessitore kind of had to like calm him down. Like, yes, he's from Ukraine. He's doing it for his country, motherfucker. Like that's why he's doing it. What else? But anyway. It was funny. The scorecards reflected the fight. It was pretty one-sided, and Billy got himself the decision on that one. You saw it, or you saw bits and pieces of it at least, Andrew. What came to your mind when you saw that? Did you agree with the scorecards? I mean, they were one-sided, obviously, but no debate there.
No debate on the scorecards. The right guy won, right? That's how I see this. I do agree with your father. I do agree with the expert, the OG expert from Las Vegas, that it would have been a lot closer of a fight. And Christian Mbili is very lucky that injury happens to the arm of Derevchenko. I would also say to Timothy Bradley, when you're 15-6 and you kind of live on the fact that you've never been stopped, that's kind of his thing, right? Derevchenko's never been stopped. Will he survive this? Right? That's what they were going with. So why the hell are you telling them to quit? Right? If he does that, now he's 15-6 with a knockout defeat. You're done in the sport of boxing, and he might be done anyways. But I'm going to tell you what, Timothy, because he stood up for those 10 rounds. Guess what? You got a promoter doing? Thinking about their guy being the first one to knock him out. Right? He still has that little thing on his resume. Never been stopped. So as much as I don't want to see Sergey back in the ring, probably will be back in the ring. In Billy's power, I don't like his style. I don't like his approach. It was ugly. There was nothing there, right? He's lucky he didn't fight Canelo a year ago or whatever, because I believe that's when that fight was supposed to take place. I think it was when he was facing Charlo is when they were talking about it. It could have been in Billy or Charlo. But either way, I got it. I'm going to say that it's Derevchenko's chin because of the opponents that he's already lost to and he's never been dropped or stopped. Charlo, Triple G, Munguia.
I think he might have been dropped. No, well, he wasn't dropped.
Maybe he was dropped, but he's never been stopped, right? He got 6 defeats, never been stopped. He's faced some pretty good power punchers in those divisions, right? So let's just say he has a freaking gift of a chin, special. That's his talent.
He can take a shot. As I say, he's got a good beard.
There you go. And Billy versus Munguia would be an interesting fight. I think might be a candidate for fight of the year. I can see them guys just going back and forth on each other. Besides that, I don't know how far you want to take him up the ladder as far as rankings because of this performance. I know most guys would say you beat Derevchenko, you deserve to go, to the top.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in this. I didn't see it last night. Granted, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I gave this more ratings than I did attention.
Well, I mean, it's worth.
He's ugly, Miguel. It's an ugly. I'm like, no.
And you know what? And he tends to throw his punches almost like Wilder in that hacking manner, because when you see the way he unloads it and even the sound that it makes when he connects, you're like, oh shit, that's how. And I'm like, Oh, he barely rocked him. Like, what the fuck? Does not have the power? Because he 20, I think it was a 28 wins, 23 knockouts. That's
Yeah.
pretty significant, right? So I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, he's taking people out, and then I mean, again, all credit to Derevianchenko. He's got a granite chin because he took all of his shots, and with one arm, I'm talking about, and it's not just the arm per se, but it's the specific arm. It's the jabbing arm, which usually assists you in keeping the guy off of you. You keep that
Right.
jab out there. As a matter of fact, I want to say I think that was one of the things that was one of the underlying issues of Floyd Mayweather and Castillo won. I think is one of the reasons why Castillo was able to get so close because he just didn't have the jab. I think his arm was jacked up or something. That's what I heard if I remember correctly. I
Okay.
don't remember. But Floyd's like shoulder or something, and it was having a hard time keeping Castillo off him because he had no jab. And this is the same thing. It's that jab where he wasn't able to keep Billy off him long enough. And he didn't clinch as much as he thought he was. He wasn't to clinch. Of course, he had to survive some couple of those rounds, but it wasn't like he was out there like holding and backpedaling and running per se. He was still fucking boxing. I'm just like, damn, this dude has got some balls really. But yeah, and Billy's power is kind of questionable. I mean, and maybe it is. It's half and half. It's like, well, it's kind of questionable, but then again, as Derevianchenko's chin, and the only real reason we're kind of, I mean, besides the fact that there was no more other boxing last night that we're talking about is because we did see recently that Munguia has kind of sort of jumped ship to top rank, right? That's what it looked like because he's going to
Yeah.
be, well, hey, this potential future opponent. He is that super middleweight. We could potentially see something like Munguia and Billy in the near future. Why the fuck not? You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
what these
Right.
guys are at middleweight. It's worth when you see guys in the same weight class, and you're like, oh, so and so is in that same weight class. Oh shit! Now I'm gonna pay attention to this fight because it could be a potential opponent, just like a few weeks ago with Angelo Leo, and then and Venado Lopez. It's at featherweight. It was a great knockout of the year. I'm not sure who watched it, who didn't watch it, but hey, this dude just won. He could be a potential opponent for in a way in the near future. So it's worth watching for those reasons. But that's the reason. As I was like thinking about, damn, and Billy's all right, all right. I'm down with him and Munguia. Wouldn't that be? I mean, now that he's kind of over here now, I know Munguia's got a fight scheduled, but after that, shit, I'm down with that. I don't. I'm cool with that. It was an entertaining fight. He's
I
an
could tell you it'd be a
entertaining.
fight of the year candidate. It might not win because both guys aren't champions, yada yada, all that, that, but it would be on the list. The two styles that they have, I cannot see that being a boxing match at all. There is no cautious fighter in that fight. You know what I mean? They're going at it and they're gonna bang heads, and uh, excellent fight for Top Rank to put on. I would put it back in Canada. It looks like the guy can
Mm,
sell a ticket.
mm,
I think you add Munguia's name to that ticket. It's a sellout out there in Canada because he's known, right? All the diehards are going to be like, look, this isn't Billy's shot right here. His followers are going to know that this is his moment. So I see it doubling in whatever the capacity that they had on Saturday night, which off the sound and look seemed like they did all right on the ticket sales. With that being said, I want to drop a quick note about the ticket sales of the Terrence Crawford
mm.
Madrimov fight. Did you see that they only said about 4,000 were given away? Did you see that post?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's not that bad, right? I mean, 4,000 out of 17,000, or I mean, they still sold 11,000 seats, 12,000 seats.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. So there, that's I thought it was going to be a lot. I don't know. I thought the number of tickets were going to be a lot higher when they were saying how many of the percentage was given away.
Well, that's a lot, yo. I mean, it's not like a couple of hundred tickets or 1,000. It's multiple thousand. It's 4,000 tickets, and we're not even really sure what tickets they are per se. Like they weren't nosebleeds, right? I have to assume they were like decent tickets, so they can kind of look nicer on camera, so to speak. They can kind of gather them around or whatever. I have to assume it was those kind of tickets, or maybe the people in nosebleeds were upgraded or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's not just the number of tickets, although that does matter. But which tickets? I don't think they specified. But
That is true, but if you look at the total amount, Crawford versus some no one still did 11 grand, and I know Pitbull and Andy were on the undercard. I get that, but I think if you were to bring back Crawford with a Saul Alvarez for whatever reason, that's a sellout. That's an absolute sell because he did 11 grand on his own. Now you're adding so his excellency knows. At least they know that now going into that fight with someone like Canelo is an absolute sellout because to me Terrence doing 11 grand in LA, a place he's not from. He has no connection out there. It's not like all the, the he has no connection. It's not where's he from?
Omaha.
Omaha. It's not Omaha, it's not Nebraska. So and they came out and seen him. I like that the movie stars were out. I don't know if they paid for their tickets or not, but they still gave it the time of day, right? Like, yeah, I'll show up, and they showed up for him. So I thought it was still an upside. So we'll get back to this week, but I wanted to throw that in there because we talked about the ticket sales. I wanted to throw that out there real fast for Terrence.
Well, funny that you mentioned that, just because now I'm thinking about it. Can we attribute it to just Crawford? Or, I mean, keep in mind, like you said earlier, yeah, Andy Ruiz was on the card. Yes, Pitbull was there. So it's like, it wasn't like it was just Crawford.
I think they were going to put those guys. His Excellency would probably put that card together again with Canelo on there. They didn't come at that heavy of a price, right? They're making under $1 million. I think Pitbull made 1.5. Andy made in the hundreds of thousands. So that's not there. You'll probably see Andy Ruiz on the undercard again if they were to go that. I know it doesn't look that way, but at least there's a market. I believe with Terrence doing 11 grand in LA, there's a market for him out there. That's not as bad as what it looked like last week when it was reported, that they gave away so many tickets. That's just my opinion, guys. It's just my opinion. Thought it was going to look a little worse.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so back to the Billy card. We started off with that one, of course, but the co-main event was a pretty fun, entertaining heavyweight bout, whose names, of course, I can never fucking pronounce for the life of me. But we know one guy, we've seen him before, a top-rank heavyweight.
Guido.
Guido Vianello. He ended up coming away with a victory against. My bad, I cannot. Makhmudov. That's the best I can say. His last name, Makhmudov. It was a fun fight. I want to say for as long as it landed, for as long as it lasted, I'm generally not a big fan of heavyweights. I'm not sure if I mentioned it hella times already, but I like lighter weight classes. As a matter of fact, both in MMA and boxing, these guys cannot depend on their strength because they're not that freaking huge. So they have to be more technical, and I love those kind of fights. Heavyweights, they can kind of rely a little bit more on their power. They can rely a little bit more on their weight. So generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it was a fun co-main event. I sure as hell enjoyed it. I want to say they talked about these guys fighting before, like several years ago. I don't know if it was amateurs or it was early pros. I think Bradley mentioned it, and Makhmudov actually came in with the victory because that dude was still young. Guido was still very young and not like his man strength yet. This is another story though. This was kind of a payback. Oh boy, Makhmudov's eye was fucking damn.
It was bad.
It was bad. It was bad. I don't know. I don't remember seeing the punch that did it. I don't remember them mentioning that it was a thumb or anything like that to say that it was something like that. But his eye looked bad. Like it was swelling shut, and then it was like almost swelling underneath the swelling. Like that's how bad it was. Like, oh geez, this is terrible. So one time, I want to say one of the refs or one of the doctors like did one of these tests where like, how many fingers can you see, and didn't cover the other eye for some reason.
Thank you. All right. Yes,
like,
bro.
What was that about? I was like, okay, these guys are in Canada. There's no well, right? I mean, it's like what the hell?
The guy was like, "Ooh, this is an easy one." 3.
Yeah. Like,
yes, look, I can still see. Oh.
and it's like, what was next? The doctor was gonna like lean in that direction where the eye is open. It's like so you can see it. Like I don't even have to turn your head. Like how many fingers am I holding? More to the right, doctor. Okay, how many fingers am I holding? There you go. Jeez. But that I saw that and I was like, oh, they really want this fight to continue. Jesus, they really want this dude to lose his eye. Good lord. But the guys Tessitore and Bradley were calling for the fight to end already. He did what he could, and it really Makhmudov didn't look like he was protesting it. When the fight ended, he was disappointed. You can see he kind of like hung his head down a little bit, and he's like, "Damn it!" But ultimately, it's for the safety of the fighter. And it's one of those things where what round was it? 6, maybe? I don't even know how many rounds it went, but there was still plenty of time to go, plenty of time for the ref for the eye to have gotten worse. Especially like Guido seeing it, it's like, well, I'm just gonna unload his fucking punches on this side, and I'm sure he's not gonna see them. But it was fun for as long as it lasted. Again, usually I'm not a fan of heavyweights, but I was a fan of this fight. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's a nice little appetizer before the main event.
Where
Andrew,
was this fight at? Where was this fight?
it was in Canada, but I don't remember where exactly. Like it was they talked about it a few times. Where the hell is it at?
No, you're absolutely right. It was Canada.
I
I'm a
know it was
dork for
Canada,
not.
but I don't remember where.
Quebec.
Oh, Quebec. Okay.
I'm trying to.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, yeah. It says Center Videotron, Quebec. That's like I don't know if that's the name of the arena or the actual city, but Quebec. The Quebec.
Whatever. I was trying to look up Guido. You know what?
Yeah.
Guido is like the king of the undercards for Top Rank, man. I could have sworn his last fight, they were like, this is do or die. Remember Timothy was like, one of these guys has to win or they won't be here anymore. It's like, come on, man. What are we doing? Yeah. All right. So he's won 2 fights now. Does he get a shot now? Now are they going to graduate this kid from the undercard? No, look, it was a fun fight.
Well, hold on. He actually lost that fight, FYI. He was fighting that Effie guy, and he fucking lost.
Okay, so all right, so Timothy was
like,
wrong.
Yeah, that's I was like, what the hell? Timothy's like, dude, he got his green card. He won. Call it a day. It's like, what the hell? But it was one of those things. Yeah, I remember that. That. But it's like these guys are fighting for their contract. And the corners are like, what? We didn't hear about that in the locker room. What are you talking about? But anyway, they brought him back, and he won. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so now he moves on, and that's all I got. That's all I got is I remember he was on the death contract before. Why is he back here? So, but I thought he had won, but you're right. F.A. did win the fight. So, whatever. That's all I got for that one. It was good. I'm glad it was over because it was ugly. I felt sorry for the guy. I really thought Guido, it looked like he could have finished that fight when the dude was blind. Like, I think he was trying to get the ref to stop, the corner, someone else to show him mercy besides me just going out there and beating him to a pulp on one side of the face. You know what I mean?
Giving him trauma for the rest of the
There was rounds where he lands multiple right hands, dude. It's like, bro, he can't see. The guy just couldn't. He was like, blah, blah. Like, he was putting his hands up, but he didn't know when it was coming. He didn't know what side it was, if it was straight, if it was looping. You could have ended that fight. He didn't. It carried on. The ref and the doctor finally ends up showing him mercy, and he should have. He should have showed him mercy probably a round or so before that, because the eye was completely shut. And like I said, I didn't take notes, but there's rounds where Guido is trying to fucking. It looks like he is trying to get him out of there with the right hand. You know what I mean? And no one's giving this guy any mercy. So whatever the case, good card, decent card, decent card. I'm glad I gave ESPN the ratings. Yeah. I'm here for you guys.
This time, if nothing else. But you didn't catch it on the ESPN Plus app, or was it just regular ESPN?
No, it was regular ESPN for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because we got was every so often I switch it back and forth because ESPN Plus has the prelims of the UFC card, and then it has the whole card for the boxing last night. So I was kind of flipping back and forth, and then of course like the UFC caught my attention, but I ended up watching afterwards.
Was that Asanya guy who lost last night? That was a real? Okay, all right.
Yeah, that was the pay-per-view last night from Perth, Australia. That's where that card took place. So shout out to the man Sam Navajero. He's from Melbourne, isn't he? Is that where Sam is?
Yes.
All right. I'm not sure how far that is from Perth, but apparently they had the card over there at 7 a.m. because they do it for prime time over here, which is like 7 p.m. But apparently it's like 7 a.m. over there. So it was early morning UFC card.
Remember when boxing used to have that pool? Man, I remember that. Now they're like, fuck you guys. It's on at 3 in the afternoon. Like, whatever.
Hey, so sometimes it doesn't work with the UFC, yo. Sometimes they'll go to like Abu Dhabi or something, and it's like, fuck, we got an early morning, which, again, sometimes I can't complain because there's a boxing card later that evening, so I don't have to toggle back and forth. Makes things substantially easier if I can just, as of right now, my schedule, I work Saturday mornings, I work from home, so I could be watching some like UFC cards while I'm fucking working, and then later in the evening, I can catch the boxing or vice versa, whatever the case may be, because, they often have Matchroom events on fucking on DAZN early in the morning. So I'm like watching those in the morning. I was like, all right, well, I am up. I am watching TV, I'm working. But anyway, yeah. So it doesn't always happen. Sometimes the UFC doesn't have that same kind of pull either, and they do have to
Gotcha.
have early morning shows, which sometimes sucks, sometimes doesn't. Anyway, but that was really more or less what happened last night for the boxing, because there was a lot of things going on. It's a very, very slow week. But one of the other things that happened, as I mentioned earlier, and one of the things that we noticed happening outside of the ring, is the continuing downfall, the continuing fall from grace of one Devin Haney, who found himself in a very strange altercation at a fucking state fair, or wherever the hell he was. I don't even. Do you know what town
No,
it
it
was?
absolutely looks like a fair, though.
Yeah,
I'll
it
back you
was.
on that. It looks like a fair.
It looked like some fucking carnival or something, was in town, and he's like, "Oh, let me go, let me go start some trouble. Let me go stir some shit up." At some point in that, and there's a lot of videos of this already online. Um, I don't know what the altercation was about, or who started it, or what shit talk led to it. But at some point, he decided to throw the first punch. It was him and his goonies and his buddies. It looked like they ganged up on one guy, or maybe like it was two, but one guy chickened out or some shit. I don't know. But ultimately, one guy was the one that took the ass whooping in a nutshell. And Devin throws
He
what
took
seems
some
to be.
punches.
He did take.
Yeah, he took some punches. I don't know if you could call that an ass whooping.
Well, I mean, how many punches did they land? Did he land on the other guys? How much did he fight back? Because I've seen bits and pieces of it where basically he gets ganged up by like two dudes or some
Yeah.
shit. Devin unloads a punch that doesn't doesn't do much to the guy, and the guy kind of like, does the fuck? And then it's when the other guy jumps in and starts throwing punch on the guy being beat up that he kind of wobbles and stuff like that. And then Devin kind of thought like, I don't, how many punches did Devin throw? Because as soon as he
He
threw that one, he was like, I'm done. And then he just walks away.
he threw one. He threw one, and it doesn't do anything at all to the victim. I don't know, the opponent. I don't know what you want to call him, the other guy.
Yeah.
Listen, the other guy is a regular dude, man. Overweight, right? Probably never boxed in his life. I don't care how good of a street fighter you think you are. If you're not a boxer, you're probably not going to do well going up against a professional boxer, right? No one's going to give him a hard time on that. In this case, he might have had four boxers that were throwing punches at him.
Right.
Because, I mean, they usually hang out in groups, right? The Devin Haney usually taking his sparring partners with them, maybe some close friends that are always at the gym with them, whatever. But they all know how to fight. The dude brushes all their punches off, like in a matter of fucking seconds. As they walk away, the guy is already walking back to his friends and family like nothing happened. It's pathetic. It really is. He's gonna get paid and nothing happened, Miguel. It's the easiest 100 grand the dude ever gonna make in his life. He'll get 100 grand for that because Devin threw the first punch. Right?
Yeah.
That's assault, man. That's assault. So stupid move on Devin. Look, they kept saying Ryan hit Devin too hard in that fight. And I was like, I was a Devin fan, man. I don't like what Ryan Garcia did. I don't like how that thing got played out. I don't like how they kind of threw Devin in the he went from being a victim to the bad guy. And now he's adding to that fire. He's adding fuel to that fire. Or the victim to the yeah, not even the bad guy, because some of it he was crying, right? Going to YouTube asking for the fight to be removed. It was so
Yeah.
That was so foolish. That was so weak. It looked weak for Team Haney to do that. No one ever cares about fighters who cheat, bro. I've told you that. I'm gonna keep saying that. That was just a very bad advice, whoever came up with that in their team, because no one's ever gonna give a shit about that fight. Yeah, the dad. Remember when this was just a dad and a son on a journey, right? Now you have, Devin. It looks like trying to be people he's not. From the clothes to the jewelry to the throwing the punch at a person, looks like you half-assed that punch. I know they say your punches aren't hard, bro, but that was a weak ass punch you threw over your friend's shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the young man said to him to make him do it, but it looked fake. It looked like Devin's trying to be someone he's not. And then you have his dad over there, arguing with Floyd, acting like he was some fucking boss back in the day. He's got the thing where it seems like
Yeah.
he's snorting,
Mm.
right? He never cleared that up. He never came out and said, "You guys are fucking full of it. I don't do that. I would never do that to my son." Right? I wouldn't embarrass him like that. We didn't make money, and all of a sudden I'm becoming a cokehead. Especially because he talks so much shit about Telefimo's father
Mm.
and maybe drinking, right, with the bottle. To put out a video like that. You have Devin then losing the purse bid,
Mm.
right? Another fall that we've seen. Like the guy, he's one of the undefeated, two-time undisputed. No one gave a shit about his fight purse
Yeah,
bid.
let me read that right now because I pulled it up here. This was from back to in June, but regardless, it's kind of adding to the again the downfall of one Devin Haney. Top Rank wins Devin Haney versus Sandor Martin purse bid. Top Rank submitted the lone bid. So I don't know if that means that Top Rank only submitted one bid,
Oh,
or the
that's
only person, or he's the only person that bid, or Top Rank. Um,
that's
of
exactly what that means, bro.
well, it's one or the other. Like no one else bid, or there were bids, and the only person that bid, or the time that Top Rank bid was once, and they won. So I don't know if that's what that means. It says the lone bid. That sounds like no one gave a two fucks about it. No one bid, and he could have been. It, anyway, for $2.42 million was the first bid. So that's essentially where they're gonna split, right? I wonder if Bob Barum's not kicking himself in the ass like, damn, I should have been 1.7 million or something, right? Something even less, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of the way it is. But yeah, that's ultimately what it was. I'm not sure if they've even talked about. Let me see. It's going to be a 70-30 split, obviously for Devin Haney. So yeah, as that. Anyway, continue with the round. I just want to throw that in there with the specifics of that purse bid.
No, it's just if I'm Devin Haney, I don't know if I want to go move forward with that Sandor fight. I might vacate the title. He needs a bigger win than that. I don't think that does anything for his career. We know it's not going to do anything for his pocketbook. The guy spends more than that, right? If he what he's going to make $1 million off of that fight, plus you got to pay your corner, you got to get taxes taken out. Like that fight's worthless, right? You can move up or fight Telefimo, try to get that fight in play, or you move up and try to get Crawford. Anyone really that's not Sandor or Martin, I think brings in more money than that. Even Boots, because of the backing from DAZN, you might be able to get more money for a Boots fight than you would that right now. But he's put himself in a real tough situation here, right? He was not marketable before the punch. Now, I mean, I got to be real with you, Devin. You're out here wearing dresses. You're out here wearing clothes that I'm reading online. It looks like none of the kids agree with. I don't know who you're trying to attract as a fan base, but when you got guys literally saying, I think Ryan hit you too hard on the way that you dress,
Hmm.
you might want to look at your fashion stylist or whatever you want to call it. Be like, hey, can we change this up? Not saying every night, but just on maybe the nights that you're on the red carpet, you might not be might want to wear something that's
A little more masculine, I guess.
there you
Put it that way.
I don't
Because
want you said it, not me. Hey,
yeah, just I mean, he went. His fight with Ryan. It looks like he's wearing fucking Uggs. It's like, all right, well, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't
yeah,
wear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of the ring is in the story, maybe. But even still, it's like sometimes when I look at what he's wearing, and I'm no fashionista myself, but I'm sure as shit not gonna wear. Whatever that what those big ass Doc Martin shoes, or I don't know what the fuck he wore. I forget. It was
yeah,
these
none.
big old
I
loafers.
think he
I don't
had those Wheezies on. Yeah, like the space shoes, right? He had like the
something.
space. Yeah,
God damn. Yeah. So I mean, I understand to some degree because it's really more so a status symbol. It's like, look, it's not even so much that they look great; it's that they're so goddamn expensive, and I can afford it. That same thing with art. Sometimes there's like an art piece on someone's wall, and it might not be great, but it's like it's not really the point. It's the fact that I can afford this shit. That's the kind of the point. So I get it to some degree. That's how fashion is. It really isn't that it looks great. It's that it's so goddamn pricey that he can afford this crap. I don't know what he's trying to prove. Like we didn't think you couldn't afford it, fool. So I don't know why the hell you would go as far as buying that. But it's like it's so bad. Not just the jewelry, the bling, which we kind of already know, but some of these things like these shirtless vests that he wears underneath. I'm just like, God, I don't. Somebody has
I'm
to take
telling
an
you, he
idea.
had a dress on the other day. I'll find the
And you know what's
picture.
funny? And dude, that's what I'm saying. I legit when you showed me the picture initially, you sent it to me. It was like a while back. I thought it was just some like super baggy, wide leg Junko type of shorts. But I thought they were shorts. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the fuck is over here wearing a goddamn skirt or whatever the hell it is? I'm like, all right.
Yes.
I guess that's the direction you're gonna go, homie. I don't know, but I don't know. He's going in that direction, like Harry Styles, kind of like Metro, androgynous, not male, not female type of clothing. I'm like, oh, I
and
guess
it's
if this is
and it's not working. Listen, the only reason why I bring this up is because I go to the comments, right? And when you see there's 50 comments and they're all saying, "Dude, what are you doing? What is this?" Girls are like, "Don't. I'm not really feeling a man in a dress." Like, hello, read the fucking room. You know what I'm saying? That's your fan base. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm only going off of the comments that are on his feed. And don't get me wrong, there might be one out of 10 or 15 that are positive, right? Go live
yeah.
your life or be you. But no, on the overall, he's been frowned upon about the way he approached the loss. The way he tried, obviously the lawsuit I was in favor of. A lot of other people wasn't. I'm still in favor of that, but they're looking down on that. The way his dad has acted since the loss, right? Kind of, not going to say turned thuggish, but he, catch him on the streets. You know what I mean? He did all that whole thing, and then you got the one questionable video, and you got the questionable video at Floyd arguing with Floyd. So it's a bad look for the Haneys who were they used to be on the good side, right? Like I don't like. Why are they turning to the villain family? We don't want the Mayweathers, right? Like be the Haneys, don't be the new Mayweathers. And here we go. Because seriously, Floyd used to wear questionable ass clothes too. He loved being, and I gotta warn you guys, that whole hip hop trend thing is kind of dying out. You don't see it. A lot of those guys in the new hip hop world like dressing all kind of weird, right? They're all fucking fashion statements now. That shit ain't really hitting the streets though. You don't see too many guys like, oh, I'm trying to look like, whoever Wheezy or, a fucking who's the other ones that just lost one of them, got shot in the head. You
Oh,
know,
jeez. No, I don't. I
yeah,
don't
one of
follow.
them
I don't
just
follow.
died. One of them
Oh,
just died, but they always wore some crazy ass
oh yeah.
outfits, right? Yeah, there a lot of them wear these weird. Even Lil Wayne has some weird skater outfits. He doesn't do dresses or anything, but definitely doesn't look like the what the hip hop gangster performer used to look like, right? Back in the 90s or 80s when where hip hop was big back then. No, they definitely changed. It's definitely not on the streets yet. And it's been there for a while. I mean, we're talking Floyd Mayweather. Floyd's old as fuck now. He's a grandpa, right? Didn't hit
But
the
you don't
streets.
think it's Floyd like now? Because I don't remember. And here's the thing: I when I was younger, I was at a point where I had like friends who were older, and we couldn't. I couldn't at least go to casinos and shit like that, right? Because I was still too young. But we would go to this one, shopping mall inside Caesar's Palace called the Forum Shops, and I would see Floyd there pretty regularly. Like this was goddamn, I don't know. Oh, Jesus Christ, oh 04, oh 05, around there, I
Yeah,
think, right?
yeah, that's
And
right,
and
true.
and and he would walk around, but it looked like he was wearing regular clothing. He had a
Wearing
fucking
suits back
well,
then.
maybe I mean suits. There you go. But like, I think it's only now that I'm seeing Floyd wear these
Pretty
like tall boots or some shit like that, like
Pretty
riding.
boy,
Uh,
pretty boy Floyd was total gangster. Total suits, custom suits, all that. I spent $5 grand on this. Money Mayweather wanted purses. He wanted
uh,
boots,
yeah,
right?
to my
He's got
statues.
yeah,
Uh,
whatever. That
yeah,
looks like
that's what I'm
a
saying. Like
purse.
now, I think that's kind of like I think that's the trend
Well,
that
that
is
I'm gonna
going.
say Money Mayweather happens in 14, so we released a decade of Floyd doing this. It
Mm,
never hit the streets. I don't see any of the young men in my neighborhood. I don't see. I've been to many clubs. I've been to many Vegas many times. I don't see any of the dudes in the lines getting in the clubs looking like Floyd Mayweather. I don't. Um, so or any of those basketball players or the other rap stars that are doing it, because there's a few guys that are doing this now.
I
Uh,
do. I thought I saw, I don't know if it was LeBron, but I'm definitely a basketball player that comes to mind. But this basketball player entering, when they come into the arena, they usually like
yeah,
have a camera on them, right?
yeah,
He had like a suit but with shorts. Did you see that?
yeah.
It was like basically slacks like you would wear in a suit, but there were shorts. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Hey, but I'll take that over a dress, dude.
Oh
I'll
yeah, I
take
guess.
that. Yeah, I'll take that any day. Or and just what these guys are wearing. But
Jeez.
so just shout out, Devin, just not a good look. It's not a good look what he's doing right now. I don't know what's going on with it. Haney needs to get back in the ring. Stop tweeting. Stop going out with your stupid ass friends that don't know how to keep you out of trouble. Because not one of those dudes pulled you away. You know what they all did? Oh, the king swung, so we all got to fight now. Rah! That's gonna get you in trouble. Seriously. Um, if they would have punched that kid and his head would have fallen and hit that cage, that's attempted murder. That
Hmm.
could be murder, right? We've seen many
Hmm.
times these guys, and especially with the Dodgers, how many times they done that to the Giants fans? I don't know if you ever heard it, but the Giants fans were getting fucking creamed over there in LA for when they had that, World Series run. There was a few of those. It's happened in sports, right? Where guys
Sure.
get punched, they hit the ground, and they're fucking now they've got brain damage. Um, you guys are all boxers, right? Or potentially. There's more boxers than just one in that group that Devin's
You're
hanging around.
trained like a trained boxer.
Yeah. It's fucking come on, man. Grow up. Grow up. So not a good look for Devin. Hopefully he gets out of this and gets back into the ring. Learning experience. They've said that Gervonta has grown up a lot. And you know what? We haven't heard Gervonta get in any trouble in a long time. So maybe he has. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You, hey, bro, sometimes they take away your freedom. That's all it takes, right? You sit in that cell and you're like, you know what? I'm not doing this shit again. This is
Yeah.
some bullshit right
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean? Like they're not. You can't open the door. You're used to freedom, right? Like
Mm.
now the door's locked, bro. Now you got some asshole calling you an asshole, saying, "Get out of here, asshole! It's time to eat. Get back in there, you asshole." You're like, man, I swear to God, this motherfucker calls me an asshole one more time, but you can't do anything about it, right? That's
Yeah.
your life. That's it. So hey, maybe Javante got a piece of that and was like, yeah, nope, I'm a little above this.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well,
guys.
he had wasn't he, was it house arrest? Wasn't he on house arrest for like a while, right?
No, no, but then he tried to go to the hotel up the street. Remember, he went,
Oh.
and they're like, "All right, put him in jail." And so then he had to go
Yeah.
spend the rest of the time in jail. Yeah, he tried to he wanted his house arrest to be in a luxury suite at some hotel. They're like, "No, you can't do that."
It's like, okay, I'll do house arrest. Can I choose where I get to stay? Like,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
no, you can, homie. I don't know if you know that. And now I was just gonna ask you that as a matter of fact, like, because we're talking about Devin, what would be, what should Devin do to switch the narrative again? Because it's going downhill, right? It's all the shit that's going on. His weird look on top of his most recent issue with him, getting to a squabble outside of some fucking carnival. The sooner the better that he can get into the ring. Funny that you mentioned that because 6 hours ago I saw this on Instagram. Um, Devin Haney says, I would say the comeback, but I never left. See you soon, brother. That's a response to His Excellency saying, waiting for you in Riyadh. That's how you pronounce it, Riyadh. So that was that. So it's like, hey, okay, cool. Okay, all right. If this is because we need you to get back into the fucking ring. When did they fight? April? Was it April, right? So May,
Yeah,
June, July, August, 4 months. All right. Considering most big name boxers only fight twice a fucking year, he's not that. So he should definitely be much more. Because prior to that was his fight with Regis, which I think was December, right? Was when I went to go visit you in fucking San Francisco. So Regis, and then I'm not sure there's one between that and April. I don't think so. It's too close.
no,
I think
yeah,
it's
no.
Regis, then Ryan, and it's been already that long. So I'm not sure what he's waiting for, but it's this response to his excellency saying this, replying to Devin Haney saying waiting for you in Riyadh, and then Devin saying don't call it a comeback, because I've always been here. I'll see you soon, brother. So it's a good indication. Hopefully that is the case, and he gets back in there. not against Sandor Martin. I mean, frankly, I don't even think he should be at 140 anymore. If we're going to talk about the way he looked against Ryan, him making the weight and looking as gaunt as he did, maybe it's just time to leave 140 and go straight to 147. Fuck it, might as well. Because you mentioned it earlier, fighting someone like Boots will be fucking pretty bomb. Like I think he'll get well, certain that he'll get a higher pay. Maybe he just forget about this fucking Sandor fight and what's his name was Eddie Hearn has even said, him potentially fighting Paro, right? Liam Paro. And it's like, really, maybe he'll just leave 140 altogether and just go straight to 147. Maybe that might be a better deal, better money, I'm sure. But and we've talked about this before, how pretty thin 147 is right now, right? Like I think he can go directly into 147 and mop the floor. Maybe not against Boots; it'll be much more even against Boots. But against other champions, Mario Barrios, like I think he beats those guys. What I'm saying, so I think he can kind of get some hardware, get a belt up there, and a potential showdown, a unification with Boots. That sounds like a pretty good deal. Forget 140, leave it behind you. I That's not a bad idea. I think.
It matters where His Excellency wants to take him at 140. Those are all good fights. The Barrios fight and the Boots fight leading into a Terrence fight, because honestly, Crawford I think is going to be open to that anything now that we've seen how he performed at 154. I don't think it's a total sell that he wouldn't be interested in coming back if the money's right. Um, you also have the Telefimo angle, right? It's a big fight. If His Excellency wanted to work with Lopez, the Haney Lopez fight seems like something they shouldn't pass up on. Let's do that fight before both of them guys move into the welterweight division, with the potential of, say they give us a fight that's worthy of a rematch. Well, now you have Devin Haney connected to two guys, Garcia and Lopez, moving into the welterweight division, where you have more matchups, right? You can match them with guys that are already there, and I'm talking about His Excellency just has more targets to throw at on his dartboard, right? So I would look at the Lopez fight, especially because it seems like we're getting some major deals. Like, I just thought about, you said the purse bid was at 2.4,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Terrence just got paid 2.5. You're honestly telling me that Devin Haney and Terrence Crawford are in the same market? That's crazy. That's crazy, and that's unheard. We've never seen that in boxing before. Most of the time, a pound for pound top three guy is not in the
Yeah.
same pay bracket
Arguably
as.
the number one guy.
Yeah, and for a long time, he's
Mm-hmm.
been the number one guy, top three guy. Right? This isn't some newbie, so it's just sad. But this is what boxing needed. I think boxing got a little bit out of hand with their egos on what they were worth. So kind of needed the slap on the wrist, and hopefully now that we're getting these deals. We need one of these deals to pay out though. That let's start with that. Okay, so his
Yeah. How? What do you mean?
we need a Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view buyout, like
Okay.
where
Yeah.
they gave Terrence Crawford 2.5 million, but they sold 1.4 million on the pay-per-views. They made millions of dollars on the back end of the fight, right? That's what they need now. We need to see somebody. We've seen some major fights go down, and our pay-per-view numbers are just not there right now. And I get it with the streaming thing, but a lot of us diehards know about that black box back in the 90s, and a lot of people had those black boxes. Dude, my family stole pay-per-views for over a decade. I think my uncle had a black box, bro. Seriously, he stole papers a lot.
Mm.
Never affected Mike Tyson's and them numbers. Now, maybe they would have done better numbers. Not
Yeah.
saying that, but they all would have. They said Don King. I just seen a thing. Don King made 500 million off of Tyson, right? So even though there was these black boxes everywhere, they were still making hundreds of millions of dollars on these fights. So I can't say that just streaming is what's killing the pay-per-view buyout. I think it's a combination of things that boxing needs to get over. One of the
Sure.
biggest ones though is I think if we do look, we got a better fight card, right? The
Mhm.
champ didn't make a lot of money, but look at what the undercard looked like, right? Maybe we need to get back to those days. I mean, and then some guys will make Mike Tyson liked money, Muhammad Ali liked money, Sugar Ray, because even Sugar Ray Leonard made it's something like 28 million when he fought Duran the first time, dude. It was like, the equivalent of what the dollar was worth at that time when they fought to what it is today. They were like, it was 28 million that he made. It was like, come on.
Oh,
So
like
they were,
present day money.
yeah. So they
Oh
were still
shit.
making shit tons of money back in the day too. Listen, everyone acts like Floyd started this whole thing and he didn't. You know what I mean? We all seen the one movie of the $1 Million Baby. Is that the one? No, it's not
What?
$1 Million Baby.
Which
When
one is it?
he makes the money of $1 million in fucking right before the Depression.
Um, Cinderella Man.
Cinderella Man. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've always had big jackpots, right, in
Mm.
prize fighting. So we'll get back to that, but we got a little out of hand with everyone the way they're walking around thinking everyone's going to be Floyd. So
Mm.
that's what I would look into that. And so with that being said, take this back to the Lopez. I got to look at Lopez Haney because I think that fight is worth what they're going to get paid now. Now I think if His Excellency, you got to make that fight happen. Matter of fact, His Excellency putting that tweet out there, I totally agree with you, Miguel, about does he know what he's doing when he's asking fans for the fights
Mhm.
they want to see? I mean, that's not always the best plan to go with is what the masses want, right? Right?
Right.
There's
Right.
there's reasons why bosses are put in place. Act like one. Um
Yeah.
so hey, but let's put that out there. Lopez versus Haney, a big fight we'd like to see in 25. I do like that Canelo's giving him Lopez a lot of um what is it? Promoting Lopez. I've seen it twice. That
Mm.
that Canelo came out and said have Terrence fight Lopez. Did you see that?
No, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
No.
he said he wants to see Crawford Lopez before Crawford moves up again. I thought that was pretty cool for Lopez. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Nice
Mm.
shout out from Canelo. So, and I would too. That's an excellent fight. I think should get made. I think Lopez deserves all both of those fights. I think Telefimo's done good for the sport. Never been a bad guy. Never been bad out of the ring. Right? Why not? Why not?
Yeah, and those like that's kind of the thing. Like when you put yourself out there and you're a professional boxer and you fight the high risk fighters, that's when you get the big fucking payday. That's what makes it worth it, right? Like,
Yep.
and I've said this before, and again, we're talking this is in the past, but I've seen shit like Devin Haney getting 800,000 to fight fucking Yorki's Gambo or some shit. I'm like, what? What? You damn near got 1 million for this motherfucker? Like, no. And I think it was with the zone at the time. It might have been with Matchroom. I don't remember. But it's like, how the hell? Like, why this amount of money? Like for to fight somebody like that? And there was another buddy where he made like a cool million, and people were like, "Damn, that's the highest paid lightweight," and then if I was to, but he at that point he hadn't fought the Linares and he hadn't fought Lomachenko and shit. Those are the fights where he starts where he should have gotten millions. Not a fucking Gambo. What the fuck? So yeah, I think that's that leads into your point, and I'm glad that we brought up His Excellency because this is kind of like segueing into my next topic, which is kind of his socially awkward ways. Um, first off, yeah, first off. I the clip that I sent it to Andrew already. The clip and it makes a lot of fucking sense. He comes from royalty, right? So he his environment prior to coming to the United States or getting into the sport of boxing is around royalty and around people with a fuck ton of money. And you've said it before. Usually, what he says goes right. That's kind of the way it is. And he's kind of just almost this is a toy for him. Boxing is a toy, and he's like, "Oh, let's see what fights we can make happen." And here's a fuck ton of money. He doesn't even know what the fuck fights need to be happening because according to this tweet, I think it is, or on Instagram, on DAZN's Instagram page, he puts out His Excellency suggests for me 10 fights in boxing you want to see in 2024 and 2025. On the surface level, that sounds like, oh, that's cool. Fuck yeah. He's asking for our opinion, right? He's like, oh, well, what fight do the fans want to see so I can give it to you and you can deliver it? Oh, man, I'm a fan. Yeah, I'll let him know what fight. If he was a fight fan and he was in the circle of boxing, he should kind of know already who the fuck we want to see. Like,
Yep.
let's be real. It's not we're not complex creatures. We're simple guys. We just want to see fucking fights, and we want to see the best fight the best. A little bit of research, buddy. I think you could figure out real fast who fights who, and not a poll on fucking Instagram or something. So it comes across now that we're seeing these things where when he talks to Canelo in regards to fighting Benavidez or something, and Canelo's like, nah, and he's like, oh, he doesn't like that. Like, oh shit, he doesn't like that. Now it's a problem. Now he's got beef with Canelo. It happened with Gervonta, right? Gervonta's like, send me 2 fucking Ferraris, and he's like, dude, I'll send you 2 gloves. How about that? Now we have a problem. Now he's got beef with Gervonta. Now it's happening with somebody like Tim
Zoo.
Tszyu, for fuck's sake.
Zoo.
It's like, goddamn, dude, like, bro, can nobody tell you no? Shit, what the hell? Like, chill out, man. Like, learn to not negotiate, but learn to have social skills, for fuck's sake, because you're
Miguel,
not gonna agree with everybody. Huh?
he's worth, I think, $6 billion. Don't hold me to that, but it's above $5 billion, I believe, bro. That man's
With
worth
a B.
with the B. There's not too many no's he's seen in his life.
Mm.
I'm telling you this already. He doesn't like to be put on hold. Okay.
Yeah.
The guy don't like to hear, can I talk to my mother and father?
Mm.
He's like, why? Do they pay you? I pay you, right? You're not your own man. Like, I totally see that coming from him. We've talked about it. This is the problem working with someone from this kind of background, right? We talked about him. We seen it when he did the whole Tyson Fury. Nobody will leave this
Oh
country,
yeah,
right? We've
that's the
talked
first
about
time
it.
I think we
Yeah.
saw it. That's when we started to see a little glimpse of it, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Where we're like, uh-oh. You guys know how this game's played over there? They kind of make their own rules. Like, come on, man. Get this. We got that. Opening the door, my kids.
They make
So
their own rules and they move the goalposts all the fucking time.
yep.
Just
Yep. The Shakur thing was awkward. I want to know now. Shakur, I'm telling you, he looks at Eddie Hearn like, what the fuck this dude just tell me? Right? He's like, no, before I sit down, please give me your answer. Or you can,
yes,
or walk away.
You're running out of time. You're like, there's time limit on this. I gotta ask you now. Like, fuck. Yeah.
For us, it's a good thing for the short. For how do you say it, Miguel? For the short period of time, this is a good thing for us.
In a short term.
Short term, this is a good thing for us, right? We're gonna get to see all the fights, I guess, that we want. But I have to ask, what's the future of the company? Who are you putting your money behind that's going to carry this thing? Or are we just doing, the dream matches until the dream matches are done, and then you're going to walk away? Right?
That's kind of the impression that I'm getting.
Yeah. Well, we better be careful, because once you get done with all your dream matches, there's nothing else to go back to the pot to. Look, I'm going to say it again. I know the UFC has a great fan base, but they have stalled out as far as growing in this country. You don't see that they're not. No one's talking about this sport taking over anything anymore. And there was a time when they were like, baseball's done. UFC's got boxing, it's going to take baseball out, basketball. No, it's not doing any of that. It's failed on many platforms. They keep switching platforms. They're switching rules, ideas. Like, you can give the fans all the dream matches they want, but they don't want to see them 3 times in a row. They don't want to see, this is the 4th time these guys have fought in 10 years, right? And you see that a lot over there.
Yeah.
You see it sometimes in boxing, but they'll play it out for, years, right? You'll get 3 fights of the same guys, but it won't be back to back to back. Hardly ever. So boxing needs to be careful with what we do with this dream matchup shit. We got to make sure we have a future, right? Can't turn into everyone's loss to everyone. I know everyone likes to think that's the way to go, but it's not, because there's not a bigger demand than having the 2 undefeated champions, the 2 guys with O's, and all the belts and all the shining coming off of the big lights. Boxing loves all that. That's why we pay the millions of dollars. So I don't know. I'm still I like what he's doing for this sport, but also it's like you said, the goalpost is moving every day, right? Because we don't really know what his plan is. I don't know if he gives 2 shits about these fighters, right? Or if these guys aren't nothing more than toys to him. Characters on a chessboard, right? That's all he's doing here. He's like, oh, look, you lost. Pink, you're gone. You're gone. Pink, you're gone, right? So where I know Terrence Crawford don't like to believe this, and Floyd don't like to believe this, but guys like Top Rank that invest millions of dollars into you, they really want you to have a future, dude. When they're paying you 3 million, 4 million bucks, and you're not putting shit in the seats, and you're barely getting views on TV, you're not a pay-per-view star yet. Yet he's that man, that Jewish man, is still paying you millions of dollars. No, he cares about you. He needs you to have a future, or he goes broke. I don't know how you can look past that, right? Now, are they trying to make? Are they trying to find places to get an upper hand? Yes, and that's why you have to have a good team behind you and good lawyers to what is it? Dot all the I's and cross the T's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to have people behind you to do all that. You get the industry. I'm not saying it's a good industry or it's an honest industry, but it still doesn't mean Top Rank isn't their best interest isn't in you being a millionaire, because it is. Without you being a millionaire fighter, $1 million fighter, they're not $1 million company. It just doesn't work without you making it. So they care about you. Golden Boy cares about you, right? Now, yeah, that's all I can say about that. Where His Excellency already have billions of dollars. So you tell me before you sit down, give a fuck about you.
Yeah, and it's funny that you brought up the UFC too, because they kind of have to be careful too, because they're in the same boat. There's Riyadh season all over the fucking octagon, the canvas stuff like that. So it's like it's not just, and they've fucked with them for a while already, even going back to like COVID times where they had Fight Island over there in Abu Dhabi. It's like they've been known them for like a hot minute already, so that isn't new to them per se, but. I don't think they had worked with this motherfucker specifically up until just recently. So they too have to kind of probably watch themselves, because the UFC's been fucked over a few times, man. It's happened to them with organizations in Japan and elsewhere. So there've been a few times where even when they were just coming up in the early 2000s, they needed the help and they kind of trusted people and people fucked them over. So they've seen it, and I'm sure I would have to assume that they're cautious this time around, but it just seems like once, His Excellency shows them a check, it's like, well, fuck that, like, all right, cool, and let's move forward. That seems to be what's going on. I mean, we see it with Shakur, right? And that kind of I need an answer right now. We see it with the bridges that are being burned with him and other fighters. We saw it sprinkles of it early on with Usyk and Fury. And even then, like even then, we thought about it. That then when that happened, we're like, "Whoa!" I mean, you brought it up specifically. You're like, "Damn, he's kind of putting his foot down, kind of hard. Like shit. All right, goddamn." So from back then, and granted, a lot of things, a lot
And
of good things
Zoo.
have happened.
And
Well,
Zoo.
Zoo now, but
Zoo
between
was like,
then,
I think it's a communication thing. I told him I wanted to talk to my team. Right? That was his words where he's like, he told me I couldn't even talk it over. So yeah, there's
yeah,
signs, man, that the
yeah,
guy what did he say about Canelo? He would be wise to take this offer. Like
yeah,
what the no negotiating. You're just gonna do what I put on the. It's an
yeah.
honest offer. You should just take it.
Yeah, what's it? Take my word for it. Just take it. Like he's doing this thing, especially with recently with Zoo. It's like Zoo's like, no, I think there's a communication problem. It's like I gotta talk to my team. It's like, no, you communicate with me. There's no communication problems because you ain't gotta go communicate with your fucking friends, with your team or whatever. It's like, no, I do gotta talk. Like, no, there's no communication problem. You and I are talking just fine. Like that's not what I was talking about. I'm talking about my team. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that seeing that, and then he's not used to the culture here, so the way he kind of comes across, maybe he has a future, maybe he has a future plan, and we just aren't seeing it yet because he's talked to Oscar, and they've had, if you watch that post on Instagram with Oscar and him are just kind of like, and cut, kind of thing, like the way they were recording that video, which was just very, very weird, and
Miguel,
announcing,
have you heard that he's doing the Zhang Wilder rematch already? You might want to look that up, dude. I think Wilder and Zhang were already set to do a rematch, which I think is kind of weird. Now that now that we're bringing up, does he really have a plan for these guys? He's already rematching one of the fights that just happened not too long ago.
what? I haven't.
Did you see?
No,
Have you looked it up?
I
Look
was
that.
pulling it up. Go ahead.
Um, no, I seen it on Instagram or whatnot, and I believe it's for the Canelo undercard. And I just find that kind of weird that he would go back to that fight so fast if he's already running into that problem of not knowing what to do next. Like he kind of did a little heavyweight run there. He has some of
Mm.
his heavyweights already kind of like Tyson Fury and Usyk already in a contract to fight each other. You got Anthony Joshua already scheduled to fight Dubois. You get what I'm saying? Like his guys are already held up, and he's like, all right, well, fuck it, you guys fight each other again.
I haven't seen anything like that. Like the only thing that when I pulled up the names on Zhang and Wilder is just the results of their first fight. But no, I haven't heard anything as far as like them. You think that's what he's doing? Going back to the well again with that fucking
Well,
fight?
that's what I hope he's not doing. But I seen it. Like I said, I seen it on social media. So maybe it was hopefully it was an old post because
Mm.
that would be a red flag. I think to me, Wilder really doesn't. I mean, come on, what are we going back to that with Wilder? You know what I'm saying? Like if he was to get knocked out again, it's like, come on, leave this guy alone already. It's obviously the boat is passed with Wilder. But no, I had seen that, and I'm only bringing it up because we're talking about that tweet of
Mm.
him going, "Hey, give me some fights to do here."
Mm. Mm.
The fact that he put Zoo back on a fight card before even clearing it with the medical department, right?
Yeah.
Kind of makes it show that they don't know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, or
Like,
that like they it's like money talks, right? It's just like no, we're gonna get him. Like no. The doctor's saying no, we have to get him cleared. It's like no, we get him. Like no, sir, you're not understanding what the fuck we're saying. We can't,
this is
like
not
what? Yeah,
Saudi Arabia. You don't just fight these guys. He's like, no, stitch it up. He's good. Put him back in. I know I'm sounding Russian again. I'm
that's
sorry,
okay.
you guys.
Sorry.
But yeah,
That's
put him
right.
back in the fucking ring. Fuck that. Like, no, that's not how.
He's
It's
like,
not how it's.
let me clean that off real quick. You gotta like no. He needs stitches. He needs time to heal before he can even spar. Spar? What's that? Like,
It's like,
nothing, Your Excellency. Fuck.
that,
Yeah,
that's
he is.
exactly what could have happened.
And I'm sure that's exactly what he's thinking because sometimes
So you ever
guys,
seen Gladiator, bitch?
yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, that guy's something else. I mean, I wonder what plan. If I ever get a chance to ask him that, I'll fucking ask him if I ever see him anywhere because we got some fights coming up. Maybe he'll be here for Canelo and Berlanga in about a month's time. So if I run into him, I don't know if I will, but if I run into him and I get uh the privilege of being within 10 feet of him, I can at least point a microphone in his face and be like, "Hey, what's your future for boxing, homie?" Since if that's the direction you're going. But anyway, yes,
So okay, on Reddit, I don't know. I looked it up. It said Zhang. Oh, never mind. Keep going. Talk, bro. Talk. My bad, you guys. Fucking up
okay.
over here.
But that's what I wanted to bring up. Is just his awkwardness. But that's definitely, and then his. I guess really not a lot of knowledge of the sport of boxing. He seems like asking us what. And the funny, he's like, suggest to me 10 fights. Like, are you gonna put that on one card, or are you just gonna do it all? Like, yeah, that's a lot of. We're talking about 20 boxers here. 10 fights is no fucking joke. So, even if he doesn't do it on one card, it's separate. But it's just like, I, if I can wake up and be half sleep and I can still think of 10 fucking fights I want to see because I'm a fan. He can't do that. I don't know. Just seems a little weird.
He needs someone. He needs someone that knows how to create a future for these fights. All right, and I'm going to give you an example. Why are we breaking up the Fondura Zoo matchup? That fight deserved to have an immediate rematch. Instead, where Spence gets the fight Fondura, and I guess they're going back to that. I don't know if you've seen that one, but they have agreed to the fight now.
I,
Spence has now agreed to fight Fondura.
so I have heard that, but I have my doubts. Um, what's his name? Rick Glazer says it regularly on his Instagram that um, Spence is pretty much shot. And there's a possibility that he's not going to make it to that fight for whatever the fuck reason. I don't think he said it specifically, but basically saying I don't think the fight's going to happen. There's a chance that this is kind of the direction the fight's going to go. He thinks that Spence is shot if he actually proceeds to fight Fondura Fundero's gonna fuck him up pretty bad, which is possible, coming off of the ass whooping that he got at the hands of Crawford. Prior to that, the accident. Prior to that, the eye, right, the retina, whatever the hell it was. So he suspects that Spence is probably shot. I'm just connecting the dots. Maybe he doesn't even make it to the fight. Maybe we're gonna have Sue and Fundora anyway. But I get your point. We should have had that to begin with. It should have never been Spence to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't. When the things are that easily mapped out for you, why interrupt it, right?
Mhm.
Let's just go with the flow, right, and build off of that. So that that's I think who he needs. He needs a someone who has a vision, right? Who can see. You could put these guys on a board, and they can map out a storyline or something for some of these fighters. Because I think that's how you build careers. You gotta. It's a building process, right? You're building that career. You put opponents in his way that he can beat early on, right? And you kind of try to carry that throughout the career, but eventually you get to the top guys and you kind of just go, all right, we're here now. Right now, it's the best versus the best. But overall, I think that's what he's missing through some of the decisions that he's already made and the tweets that he's putting out there. I You can see that he is a little bit green as far as where he wants to take this sport. He has the money to buy it,
Mhm.
but where are you going to take it, right?
Yeah, because the money isn't the end all be all. Yes, we will get some fights, but if you don't have a plan, we're
It'll be
just
the
Al Heyman.
PBC.
It'll be Al. Thank you.
Yeah.
It'll be Al Heyman all over again. $750 million squandered. So yeah, it's not just solely about the money and paying these guys fucking money. It's like, all right, you can't be losing $10 million on the fucking card, and then thinking that you have a long-term plan that 5, 6, 7 years from now we're gonna have something like no, you can't be doing that shit. So something needs to change, right? I mean, obviously, we can't be having no losing money when you're giving away 4,000 fucking tickets to your card. I can't do that. But they had to in that particular case, whatever. But yeah, I get what you're saying. There has to be somebody that is going to be able to be the visionary and see how we can fucking get this money back somehow and move forward.
How
Um,
can you make Terrence Crawford versus the up and comer a huge fight and not just some fucking passing of the torch? You know what I mean? We need it to be freaking the fight of the century or whatnot. You need the ball to be passing like that. A DeLaHoya versus Chavez like moment, a Taylor versus Bernard Hopkins like moment. You remember those fights were
sure.
big on passings of the torch to the new kid. Even though I thought Hopkins won against Taylor,
Yeah.
it was always about passing that torch on to the new guy. His Excellency needs a fight. How can you get Boots? I mean, Terrence Crawford and maybe Ortiz as that
Mhm.
fight, right?
Mhm.
Something like that. So, and I don't think it's ready right now. I don't.
No.
I think Ortiz should. I really think Ortiz's opponent should get the shot at Terrence Crawford. If Terrence is not in a big fight in his next fight, he should take on Virgil Ortiz's opponent. Virgil Ortiz should then take on a titleist if he can get someone with the title, a real title, not an intern,
Mhm.
and then put them on the same card in Dallas. I would put them in Ortiz's backyard and see what the fan response is. If you could get 40,000 for them two on the same card and they both win, you could almost double those numbers when they fight each other because
Mhm.
Ortiz will be the real thing at that point.
Mhm. Yeah,
Remember,
that's a very good point.
they
Mhm.
say he already has like 2 murals, I think, out where he's from.
Oh damn, really?
Yeah, they
Holy
love
hell.
him a lot. They love him a lot out there.
Well, damn. Side note, I did think that Bernard Hopkins beat Jermaine Taylor the first time too. That pissed me off because I went to my buddy's house to watch it. Like I was never a huge fan of Bernard, but when I went home that night, I had a knot in my stomach. That's how pissed off I was that they
Yeah.
fucking took that shit. Because he had like 20 some odd consecutive wins, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, no, he didn't fucking. Damn it, the boxing division to me again. I was pissed. I was like, God damn it, my stomach is all knots. Like, God damn it, I can't eat right now. I'm so goddamn pissed. I don't know why that fight hit me so hard. It was just like, oh, the 20 some odd title defenses of Bernard. And I was like, damn, Bernard's the shit. And then he loses this way. And I was like, no, not like that. No.
Yeah.
The rematch is another story, but that one I was like, nah, maybe it's Bernard's own fault for starting too late, but still, I don't give a shit. I think he won that one.
Yep.
Um, But in regards to Crawford, um, outside of the boxing ring, as one of the things that we like to talk about is apparently he participated in a some sort of celebrity basketball game that was hosted or promoted or whatever by 50 Cent himself. Curtis, what the hell's his name? Curtis something. I don't know his real name. Curtis
I
something.
was gonna say Curtis Stevens, but that's the fighter.
Oh man, like Curtis Blow, like the DJ. Curtis
I
Blow.
don't. He's 50
I don't know.
Cent, man.
Yeah, 50 Cent. But anyway, nonetheless, apparently, uh, Crawford did so well that he earned himself a super diamondy, blingy MVP ring. So he ends up being the MVP for that celebrity basketball game. Frankly, I don't even know who the hell the other celebrities were, for that matter. I didn't even know this was going on. It would be kind of cool if, ESPN brought it up or something. We were talking about the number one pound for pound guy doing other sports. I remember back in the day, Roy Jones playing a basketball game before one of his fights. That shit was
Yeah.
cool. I don't think Crawford can do that, but regardless, Crawford ends up winning this diamond ring, which looks kind of janky. It looks a little corny and goofy.
Very small diamonds. Very
Yeah, very,
small.
very small diamonds. It has a weird shape to it, almost like a Cracker Jack or what that's called, the ring that you get in the box, right, for the popcorn. It kind of has that shape to it. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny. Andrew, you had more to say about that, right?
Hey, listen. For a while, I've been telling you guys, you keep paying these athletes the salaries that they're making. They're gonna look for other sports. Well, I think Crawford is getting his feet wet a little in the basketball world. You keep giving him that 2.5 million, he could probably make more sitting on the bench for some NBA team. You'll see him and Manny playing on some professional team out there in the Philippines. He's got to start somewhere. They make big money out there too. Who was it? Stefan Marbury, I believe was his name. He was
Mhm.
one of the first that went to the Asian League. I don't know if it was Japan or China. He played professional basketball out there. Was making millions, bro. His shoe is like the Air Jordan shoe out there, right? His
Can't do
jersey
anything,
was
right?
number one selling. Yeah, you can make big money in basketball in the globe, in a lot of places. So yeah, no, I just thought it was funny. It was like I wish ESPN would give us his numbers. What made him MVP? Did he hit a triple double? Did he hit the game winner? You know what I mean? What was he behind the 3-point line? It's kind of sad, man. I looked it up. As soon as I seen he won, we looked up to see if we could find his stats. What the fuck, Miguel? There's nothing. Dude doesn't make a ripple in the water at all. And 50 Cent. I mean, 50 Cent can't make a phone call to get Ice Cube gets his shit put everywhere, right? The big three or something it's called.
Mhm.
That thing gets promoted everywhere. I don't know what the hell. Poor, because I think Clarissa was in it. I seen some video look like Clarissa was a part of this basketball game,
Mhm.
too. But yeah, for whatever it's worth.
Well, I mean, Terrence is only 5'8". Keep that in mind. So I think he might have better luck going because generally speaking, Japanese, Filipino folks are a little bit on the shorter side, so you'll have a little bit of an easier time, I suspect.
Him versus
Over,
Manny.
yeah, yeah,
Let's
there you go.
go.
Him versus Manny. Let's do it. If we didn't get them in the ring, that one that we all wanted them back in fucking 2017 or whenever the hell it was that it was supposed to happen. Maybe we can get a one-on-one game or a game of horse. I don't know, one of those two to be able to see that. But apparently he was good enough to get MVP. Now, what? Oh, mind you, I actually been to one of these like celebrity, games before back in the day. Here, it was like 2015. I want to say they had it. It wasn't. Well, supposedly there were some names that I didn't know, some like fucking rappers or something or actors, and I was like, I don't know who the fuck these people are, but I got tickets, so I was like, cool, I'll go, whatever. But yeah, anyway, it was like at the Thomas and Mack. I don't know how the fuck it was. It was some little like arena basketball, like a high school gym or some shit like that. Anyway, so I guess Crawford did well enough to get MVP. I don't know who the other players were and what their stats were, but if we're talking about people who probably did, who do okay in basketball, and we're talking about Crawford, who's excellent in many other sports, not just boxing, coming in and mopping the floor, it might be a little bit easier for him to mop the floor and get himself a VIP. I mean, that's the MVP ring. But anyway, that was we thought I'd toss that in there because yes, it is a very slow boxing news day, and we thought, we can add that to it because why? Crawford can. That's probably why. On to next story of our docket. Um, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson apparently is officially back on. There was a press conference done recently where they kind of got into each other's face a little bit. Back to square one, same old shit, right? It was basically what we're gonna see before Jake Paul had his most recent fight against Mike Perry. So we're gonna get it, I guess, barring some unforeseen injury or something, right? We don't know how Mike Tyson's body is gonna hold up this time. If it didn't hold up then, maybe it won't hold up now. So who the hell knows if it's gonna happen? But apparently that's the plan. And of course, this press conference was supposed to kick things off. They got into his face. Tyson kind of threw a little mini jab to his chest, to Jake Paul's chest. It was all in good fun, of course, but is it really, Andrew? Please explain to me what you were saying earlier before you got on the line.
Well, look, I think it was good fun. It looked like Tyson was trying to make this a friendly exchange. It's Jake Paul that was trying to play the villain role, right? As long as they have an agreement that this is the roles they're playing, cool. But I gotta warn Jake, man. If you have not cleared it with Mike that you're gonna be the dick and he's gonna be the good guy, don't poke that bear, bro. I'm dead serious. You want Mike Tyson doing this, Miguel, when you're about to fight him, right? I love you. We're good, brother. We're friends, right? You want that from Mike.
Is that the same accent as his Excellency? Maybe I could be wrong, but they don't want to interrupt.
That's the first thing we need to get is someone that can do accents, dude. Because we do a lot of them on this show, and it's
well, we think we do a lot of them.
Yeah, we do one.
All of them. Like, they're all Russian all of a sudden. Dude can be from South Africa. He can be from fucking.
He can be Mike.
Yeah, he can be Mike Tyson. He can be from Macau, China. He can be from New Zealand. But we're gonna do a Russian accent.
No, dead serious, man. That's the type of Mike you want. I know he's almost 60. I don't think Jake Paul wants to see Tyson mad for 3 minutes, right? I really don't, man, because Tyson can still throw those punches that Jake hasn't seen. I got to throw it in the face of the guys that keep telling me that these UFC dudes couldn't fight. They can't box. They're not boxers. All right, cool. Let's run with that then. He hasn't faced a real puncher yet, because even Tyson Fury's little brother wasn't a real puncher. That dude was a model making money off of Tyson Fury's name.
Reality TV star or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all he is. He's worse than Manny Pacquiao's brother that was making money off of his name back in the day. Tommy's worse than that.
Oh, yes. No.
Bobby.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm saying Tommy Fury's worse.
Gotcha.
Yeah, worse than Bobby.
I saw him at the mall one time. Anyway, he was eating. I don't know if you guys have a California pizza kitchen where you guys are at, but he was in one of those here in Vegas during like one of his fights. I was like, hey, I know the motherfucker. Anyway.
So no, Jake Paul hasn't seen the punch from a elite puncher, which Mike Tyson I think can still throw an elite punch. Not a lot of them, but he can throw one.
Well, they say power is the last thing that goes, right?
Yeah, and we've seen the video. He has that. He can do one of those, right? And what if Jake freezes? What if he's in the moment, right? You're in the batter's box, dude. Now it's a fucking major league pitch coming at you. It's not your fast pitch softball. It ain't your fucking minor leagues. Now you're up against the real deal. You didn't even see that bitch, right? You're like, whoa, that's what 98 looks like? Are you fucking kidding me? You don't want that moment in boxing, bro. That 98-mile-an-hour pitch is going to land right here, right? So don't freeze up. He can't freeze up. If I'm Jake Paul, I'm fighting as many professional fighters as sparring as I can to try to get a feel of how fast Mike Tyson's first few punches are going to come. Not all of them, but round one, you would think Mike can throw one combo. Don't poke the bear. Stop trying to piss him off. Stop trying to prove yourself with this fight, because it might backfire big time on you if you piss Mike off. You want Mike on his meds? You want Mike on his weed? You want to smoke weed with Mike before the fight, Jake. That's how friendly you want to be.
You want to take gummies with that guy. That's what you want to do.
I'm trying to give him all the advice I can. I didn't like how he did it. Bro, I didn't like you. Don't walk up on Tyson. Don't walk up on him, because if you make Mike, he always describes him. It always seems to describe himself as playing off of people's emotions and fears, and if they don't respect him, right? Remember when that one guy asked him, or he said, "You're a rapist," and he was like, and Mike got just fucking switched, and he's like, "You're a bitch. You're a bitch." You know
Oh,
that?
was
Do you
at the
remember that
Lewis at the
interview?
Lewis was it an
No,
interview or oh.
this was an interview on TV, dude. He's like in Canada or
Oh,
something.
yes, yes. He's on
Yeah,
like a TV show, no?
yeah,
Wait,
and the
wait,
guy
yeah,
said
man.
one thing to him, and he fucking totally turns Mike into another person, right? He's like, I don't know, I just know that you're a bitch. I know that. He's like, come on, do something. He's like, do it, do
Yeah.
something to me. He's like, you won't. You're a coward. You don't want that, Mike, right? You don't want to say that one word that gets him to be that guy, right? Jake, play cool, fucking, you know, show respect, right? He's doing you a favor. You're not doing him a favor. Maybe the money. I got to think Mike's good. Mike has so many avenues of making money right now. Yes, he might not be a millionaire that he was when he was 20, but the guy's doing good. He just bought like another $4 million home not too long ago. He's doing fine. Um, so that's what I seen. In that press conference, that's what I took away. I took away Mike being this dude, Jake Paul trying to be the villain. I don't know if it's real or not, but I'm saying if it's not fake, watch yourself, because you don't want to piss him. Don't piss off Mike. Show Mike respect, because he will break you if you don't.
Mm. I saw this recently. Like somebody posted it on like an MMA feed, Instagram spot. But it points out, and I don't remember if this is specifically from the Tyson. Yeah, I think it's from this, the Tyson and press conference that he had, right? The amount of acne on his face. Have you noticed that?
Oh
Like
no.
somebody says, no, but then this is I'm just reading what this says on this Instagram post. The amount of acne on Jake Paul's face during the press conference right now is insane. He is never beating the allegations. That's what it said. Um, but everybody who is familiar with sports, and not just combat sports, but sports in general, know that a very obvious side effect of performance enhancing drugs and steroids in particular is acne, is also acne on the back knee, stuff like that, right? Um, I mean, shit, he probably needs it, but
Yeah.
everybody is saying that that's the direction that he's going by the look on his face. Now, the guy's a young man. I myself have had acne scars because I had trouble in my 20s. So it's not the only fucking reason to have acne, right? But when you see what his face looked like before, and then now you see, of course, that he's entered the sport of boxing, and now miraculously his fucking face ends up becoming a more scarred and more, I guess, acne filled. It's definitely raised some questions and raises some eyebrows on what he's doing. Um, I don't know if there's going to be any sort of serious testing done as far as him and Tyson goes, because I guess it's still considered. Is it even considered exhibition, or is it actually like 8 rounds full on? It's
It's
going to count for a record.
it's supposed to be a real fight. I do think they switched it to being a real fight. I don't look at. We all say that all the fighters, they all cycle, right?
Sure.
A lot of guys cycle, so he just kind of needs to get the right. If you're gonna cheat, I guess you got to get the right people around you to do it correctly. It's bad to talk that way, but that, because Miguel, he keeps saying he wants to fight for a title, and obviously the day he tries to do that, he's gonna get tested for real. So it would be kind of foolish of him to start a career off all dirty and then try to go clean when you're going to fight the champ.
Yeah.
That's a bad game plan. You know what I mean? Because the champ might be better than all the guys you face dirty, right? Because of the timing that you were facing these men, right? To the build up to the whoever's the champ at the what was it, cruiserweight division?
Cruiserweight,
Because
yeah.
that's still a cruiserweight. That guy still is gonna punch like a freaking heavyweight, most likely. You know what I mean? He's still gonna have big punch, should be hard to beat. So I don't like the game plan if that's it. I'm hoping he's not doing it. But I remember seeing the memes about his neck is already fucking 3 times bigger than what it was 2 years ago, and the signs, right? His
Sure.
his stomach and all that. So there's already been rumors attached to the young man that he was cycling when this all started. Um, Hope it's not, but I mean, shit. I don't know. I watched a meme the other day where some woman fighter came out and said, "Oh, you didn't think I was dirty?" And then they showed pictures of her younger, and she looks like a straight, she just, yeah, she looks like she's steroid out of her mind.
Mm.
And she admitted that, yeah, I was. Um, it's part of the game. So yeah, he's gonna have to. You don't want to see. Look, you also got to look at his brother doing the whole WWE thing,
Mm.
right? He was also had to get big for that sport. They're probably getting big together. We know what that sport is involved in, a lot of juicing also. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past them that they've started the cycling thing. It's working for them, dude. They're both making big money now, right?
Mhm.
So it's definitely working. And I don't know what his brother makes in the WWE, but we know Jake Paul's killing it over here in boxing right now. That last fight, he did look like the main character of a boxing event. He had the jewels on. He had the look. He was selling the fight. He's doing it all right now.
Mm.
I don't think the Tyson fight's a good mistake. The only reason why I like it, it's free on Netflix. It's the only reason why I like it.
Is it still on Freelance Left? I mean, I know they mentioned it before the postponement, but I mean, is it still like I
If
don't know if that still is.
if Netflix was smart, somebody's got to try it, man. For us to go forward in boxing, we need to get on the streaming side because I do think the numbers are going to be way bigger when we can start. When people don't have to hijack this thing on some fucking black market website, when you can literally just go, oh no, I got Netflix, I've got Amazon, I'm just going to
Mm.
watch a fight this Saturday. You know what our numbers are going to look like? You know what I'm saying, bro? Like
But it has to be one of those because
oh yeah, no,
it
it
can't be like
definitely.
Hulu or some shit. Because like if we're talking about hierarchies, damn near everybody has Netflix, damn near everybody has Amazon, right? So it has to be one of those top guys to be able to do it because it can't be no fucking like I said Hulu. I used to have Hulu just because I can get Showtime on there and I had PBC I can watch it. But after that left, I'm like I don't know if I even need fucking Hulu anymore. So I no longer have it. But it's gonna have to be a streaming app that basically everybody already has, and not one that you have to still go subscribe to.
And we can only say that because they're both involved in boxing right now. So we can both say right now Netflix and Amazon is the HBO that we're looking for. If we can prove to them boxing is worth the streaming side of this entertainment business, we're in. We're definitely in, dude, because there's so many fighters that can attract eyeballs. Especially here in America, we have many different nationalities that are, come to America. All of these guys really have a market. It's hard to get that market on a pay-per-view, but I think when you're talking stream, hell, Telefimo might blow up. You never know. There, Honduras people might Honduras Americans might start tuning into him a lot more. You know what I mean? The Puerto Ricans might start tuning into their Puerto Rican fighters a lot more. You're not paying for it anymore. Dude, I'm telling you, I know a bunch of old guys that would probably be right back into boxing if they did a lot more streaming than this pay-per-view um, platforms.
Well, I mean, they do. It's just that it's not the apps that we want. It's ESPN Plus, right, for the boxing for
Still got to
top
pay for
rank.
that.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, there are some people that still pay for Netflix. It's that stuff is still got to pay for that shit. It's just like the value that they get out of it is much more, obviously. But it's the zone too. They're streaming it there, and they do get free stuff there
You
every so
gotta
often as a pay per view. You know what I'm saying?
you got to think most every house party that you're going to be at will have Netflix and Amazon.
Yeah,
So you could be anywhere and go, hey, you going to watch a fight tonight? Where
yeah,
before you couldn't do that. They would
yeah.
have to have HBO or they would have to have pay per view. Right. And I knew people that had HBO, but a lot of people didn't have it. And they're like, no, I don't got the fight tonight. I don't got HBO. Right.
Mm.
So it's a game changer. This thing being on the stream is a game. We need that breakthrough. And I'm hoping that Mike Tyson versus Paul will do the 30 million, the Super Bowl numbers.
Sure.
Like, damn, look at that, and then that's it, man. Hopefully it'll change our whole platform of how we watch boxing. It'd be a lot cheaper for us, right?
Yeah. And I just happen to be somebody who doesn't pay for Netflix. I got some sort of um I use T-Mobile. That's my phone provider, my cell phone provider, and whatever package I have with them comes with fucking Netflix. Like, all right, cool. I mean, so I guess to some degree I am paying it, maybe not directly, but indirectly. But they're like, oh yeah, if you upgrade to this package, you get this. I was like, all right. Cool. So I guess maybe I am paying for it, but at least they're doing a good job of making it seem like I'm not paying for it. So I'm like, oh fuck, I got Netflix now. All right, cool. I've never, and I was always with Hulu just because of Showtime, and I know you can get it with other streaming services, but Hulu specifically, I would have attached the or add on the HBO or Showtime so I'd be able to watch BBC. But obviously that went away. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, if they still, it would be smart of them to do that, definitely, to stay with that same plan. How many people are going to watch that fucking fight? Like, if it is for free and it's on Netflix. I mean, dude, in 2025, WWE is moving to Netflix, so it's like that's kind of a big fucking deal. If we're gonna get boxing, I mean, granted, it's kind of circus sideshow boxing right now with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, but it gives us a glimpse of like, oh shit, we can get these kind of big fights, and it basically leans more into the possibility in the future of what kind of numbers big fights on those specific streaming services can do. Hopefully PBC can look at this and be like, oh, maybe we should do this with Amazon Prime. Like, yes, maybe we should. Not everything should be pay-per-view.
Boxing would definitely look at if the black market streaming is killing the pay-per-view numbers, because our numbers suck, dude. They're not our faces of the sport. Gervonta, Terrence, and Saul are not making what they are saying they're worth. They're just not anymore. Gervonta did it once. He did it with Ryan. That was great. But then his next fight is his total bust. You want to tap into this new platform, right? To see what it could change everything. It can literally change the whole game, and it would kill that market overnight. If bro, you're talking about the numbers of people that would be trying to, wouldn't even have to illegally stream anymore. You really wouldn't.
Right? Yeah, there would be no need for it.
There would be no need.
All right, interesting. Well, back to in the name of illegal stuff that we're talking about. The one of the things that we came up again, it was a slow news week, so sorry guys. One of the funny things we saw was Oscar De La Hoya being interviewed by Shannon Sharp, and it's a pretty cool interview. But one of the things that he mentioned, kind of, sorta, basically confirmed what Andrew has been saying from the Fight Net days, talking about his fishnet incident. He just flat out just says like, yeah, I was drugged.
The story has changed, Miguel.
Yeah.
The story has changed.
Because what was? Do you remember what the original story was?
Oh, that they were drunk, having a good time. Everybody does it, right? Like, I want, yeah, it was not. It's never been. I was drugged.
Yeah, or I was set up or anything like that.
Yeah. Never. Totally new approach to it. Totally. Hey, he even says, he goes, how hard? He goes, come on, Shannon, have you ever done it? And Shannon's like, no, I've never put them. What are you talking? He's like, come on, Oscar, I've never done fishnets. He goes, you know how hard it is to put those on? Now just imagine it doing it drunk. It's totally true. There's no way Oscar hammered, and and then the same size, the boxing gloves. Come on, you guys. You guys. And I wish someone still needs to ask him that question. Miguel, even if you see him, you need to be like, first off, go, bro, we've always known you were drugged from the end. Go, I'll search for those tapes to tell you that years ago we knew this was the case. We just need to know the case about the gloves, Oscar. Can you remember? Because, I've always said Oscar's brain is kind of through. I know I like that he's saying this now, and 2 months ago I was like, can't believe anything the guy says. He's been through so many. Now I'm like, believe him.
Like, I know all that shit, but this is for real, though, for real.
But I just want to pick his head about where the fuck those gloves came from, because to me, that was the biggest thing that made me. Miguel, I got those pictures 2 weeks before the story broke. I swear to God. And I threw them away. I was like, dude, these are fake. I'm not buying into this. Why has Oscar got boxing gloves and fishnets in a hotel room with a fucking stripper? This makes no sense. Didn't believe them. Then they got fucking taken out of it and just everybody ran with it. And so, but that's the question that hasn't been answered. does he really have boxing gloves in the trunk of his car, or were those brought by whoever set him up? You know, so that's the question. Still hasn't been asked, but I loved it. He did two of them on this interview, and I haven't watched the full interview yet, but I want to get to it. But he talks about the Canelo jealousy. And that's another thing we always need to talk about on why Oscar and Canelo had a falling out. Oscar kind of confirms that he believes it's because when him and Canelo were in the room, he would get all the attention. And I kind of always thought that on him. Oscar is the golden boy. Oscar has a history of being the fan favorite, right? Like the girls were attracted to him.
Sure.
You know, some guys liked him, some didn't, but overall, everyone went to his fights. I've been to many Oscar fights, dude. They were
everybody tuned in to watch, basically.
Yeah, they were the fucking thing back in the days. There was nothing like an Oscar DeLaHoya fight. And so yeah, I totally believe that when him and Canelo are in the same room, Canelo being young, Canelo, if you look at him back as in the early days, he doesn't look like the Canelo today. Now the Canelo's been through the machine. He has the hairstylist, the glasses, the wardrobe. Back then, he just looked like a red-headed, freckled kid, right?
And he kind of was, dude, because like and I wish I still had the gloves, but back in the day, I used to have these winning gloves. They were yellow and they were Velcro, and I used to use them to spar. They had like blood stains on the shits, but they were pretty clean. Anyway, one time I went to a fight and I was like, or not a fight, but a weigh-in, and I was like, fuck, I don't have any gloves. I was like, well, fuck it, they were pricey, but I'm like, shit, I guess I'll just buy some other ones later on, whatever. So I used them to get autographs. I had Shane Mosley on them, yada yada. I went and I got fucking Saul Alvarez. Like, I mean, these gloves are long gone now. I already sold them or some shit. But anyway, we approached him. He looked like the most shy motherfucker you can ever imagine, bro. And he wasn't, the Canelo of now. You mentioned it, right? And the dude's like kind of like my height, really. I'm 5'8" or 5'9", 5'9" roughly is where he's at, 5'9", 5'10". So I'm like, so, right? And this is before I even realized we share a last name, because FYI, his mom's last name is my last name. So now that I know, I can be like, hey, brother, or something, right? Maybe get into a second, like, hey, family member. But anyway, we approached him, right, to have him, and sure enough, he signed it. But like, he just seemed very like, it was just so strange. We're like, bro, I'm not trying to fucking, take your wallet. I just want you to sign this shit. We know who you are. We're fans. Go ahead and sign this. And sure enough, he did it, and it was very, pleasant about it. But he just looked, and there's a term in Spanish we use, it's called ranchero, when he's very ranchero. Just basically he's like, he's from the ranch. He doesn't socialize very much, So those guys over there are very like, leave me alone kind of thing. So that's just like a term that we use, right? Anyway, but that's how that's like a freckle-faced kid is pretty much what the fuck he came across as when we approached him back then.
Right. So that was another one that I thought Oscar had confirmed in this interview. Like I said, I haven't watched the whole thing. I kind of want to check it out while I do my next workout. I'll probably pay a little bit more attention into it. Breaking news, though. Oscar just put out a tweet of him in a G-string, Miguel. So you might want to stay off your internet for a little bit. Oscar, what? Yeah, the fucker's prancing around in the G-string. The guy doesn't help himself at all. You know what I mean? His girl's in it too, looking phony as shit. I've never seen a faker ass than what this girl is jiggling in this video. It looks bad, bro. It's not a good look for Oscar.
I'm gonna have to look for it now, right?
I know. I know.
It's one of those trend wrecks where I just have to see it. I know I cannot unsee it later, but I have to fucking see it.
I don't know what he's thinking, man. I really don't. The guy has a fucking business to run. He needs dads with their sons to be like, yeah, that's the man I want leading your career, right? And you're prancing around a fucking swimming pool in a G-string with fake abs. Your girl has nothing but fake shit. Her face looks fake. Her ass is fake. The titties are fake. Like, Oscar, the whole fucking thing is fake right now.
Oh, jeez.
It's not a good look. I was like, you guys can probably see on the show when I see it, I'm like, you were probably like, man, what did I say? It wasn't you, Miguel. It was Oscar's ass.
Disagree? You could just tell me. I don't know what I say. You could just tell me if you disagree. That's.
I was looking up I think the Devin Haney. I was like, oh, what the fuck? How do I argue for this man sometimes? You know what I mean? Like, how do you make this one right? You can't right now. Where's Bernard to be like, bro, can we act like grown-ass men? at a certain point, when's enough even on Bernard's side? You know, you're bringing him down too. That's his business. You know, you guys don't really have a star fighter right now, right? You got a few prospects, maybes, a Cepeda and Ortiz, but you got nothing that's guaranteed, and you're over here prancing around in a fucking G-string. Like, you got this Saudi guy who's ready to take your company, bro.
Yeah.
And you're dancing around in a fucking G-string. Like, help me out here. Help me help you. What's that Tom
Yeah.
Cruise fucking thing?
Yeah. Jerry
I,
Maguire shit.
hey, I liked how he ended the Olympics. I watched some of the Olympics out in Reno. I like how they had Tom end that shit because it's coming to LA next.
It's oh wait, I'm confusing it with the World Cup. Is the World Cup is the one that's going to be in Mexico,
Yeah.
U.S. and Canada, right? So
Yeah, I think the Olympics is gonna be in LA, and
no shit, really.
they had Tom Cruise come off of the fucking roof.
Oh yeah, I did see
You
that.
seen
Yeah.
that? Go on the
Yeah.
Harley or go on a bike. I don't know which one it was, and take the flag, take the Olymp. That was pretty cool. So.
Oh damn! You know what's funny? Yeah, the Olympics was in Los Angeles the year I was born, '84. So it's just like
Nice.
something else that happened in '84 in Los Angeles was me being born. But besides that, is the Olympics in '84 was kind of cool, which is one of the dopest fucking boxing teams ever, right? Right, Purnell and fucking Evander and all that shit.
Braylon.
Yeah. So that's kind of like my little claim to fame. It's like, oh yeah, when I was
Purnell,
born.
Maldrick.
Oh yeah, Meldrick, exactly. That was quite the team. But I'm gonna look up this fucking interview now. I mean, besides the Oscar and Drew Stink, because we have to see it. But I'm gonna pull up the interview and I'm gonna watch it in its entirety to see where it's at. Because I just pulled it up here real quick on my phone and it's about an hour and a half, so not too bad. I'm gonna pull it up here shortly and catch it on my TV screen. But yeah, Oscar, you're not doing yourself any favor, homie. Like
Yeah, especially. Yeah, I know. You put out the art. You put out this interview. We're like, oh, we could get a little closer. Maybe Oscar and patch things up. No. Here, let me watch my fucking balls dangling around the pool.
And where did you see this? Where did it?
It's
pop
on
up?
It's on his Instagram, man.
Oh, it's on his
DeLaHoya.
Insta? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
good lord.
And
Here it is.
and
You know
yeah,
what?
here it is.
literally right as you were telling me, my buddy, shout out to my homie Martin, who I used to work with. He's a boxing fan. He listens to the show. He just sent it to me. He just now sent it to me. God damn, this guy, fuck. Oscar doesn't help us. I'm gonna catch it real quick while we're watching.
You're gonna get Miguel's reaction. Hey, I was just watching the Tyson shove.
Oh no! Bro, what the fuck?
It got real steamy, Miguel. You went blurry.
I don't know what happened. I just, when I see Oscar in the thong, I get hot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What the fuck happened?
Hey, Miguel's camera blurry.
That was totally accidental. Come on now. Yeah, I'm trying to get it to focus.
There you go. There, you're back. You're back.
It's just, it gets a little warm in here when
Yeah, hell yeah. I got it. See? That's the power of DeLaHoya, you guys. No, just fucking with you, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't just extend to women. It's oh, God damn.
That's what we get for talking shit, dude. That was
what is he on at that moment?
I don't know, bro.
And what is? Oh God, this poor lady. She's got so much plastic on her.
I know, no, dude. You see that butt on her? How phony that thing looks when she turns around. Ah, man.
I get the tip, but Jesus, lady. Wow, this girl. Oh man, they're gonna have to. Jesus, when she dies, they're gonna have to cut her up in pieces so she doesn't kill turtles. God damn. Jesus, look at her. And then you know what's funny? Like I see Oscar and his fucking thong doing his thing, right? And it isn't until he turns around, and you're like, it's like, guys wear stuff like this, cool, whatever, right? They try to be, and then, but it's like, do you really have to? You couldn't just wear regular like briefs to have the same effect. It has to be a fucking.
What does the conversation sound like with him and Bernard the next day? He's like, hey, what's up, Bernard? Yeah, I seen you last night. What the fuck's wrong with you, Oscar?
How does he show up to the board meeting the next day after at Golden Boy? Is like, so how did everybody's weekend go? Like, Oscar, we need to tell you something, buddy.
Yeah, HR wants to talk to you again.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have to have a one-on-one with HR to, make sure we're on the same page moving forward, please. know,
I've never seen too many CEOs dancing around in a fucking G-string on Instagram, sir. Can we
yeah.
all tone it down a little? Ay, ay, ay.
It's like, could you at least give us a warning before you post something like that? At the very least, we can kind of, build a case to protect you next time. Your team of lawyers can build a case to make sure, oh gosh, yeah.
You ever
Wow.
seen those Eminem? You ever listen to Eminem? His soundtracks where his agent's always calling him like, "You're a fucking dick." He hangs up on him because Eminem's always like saying crazy shit. I
Mhm.
gotta think that's how Oscar's agent talks to him every day, bro. Like, how are you gonna fuck me today, Oscar? What are you talking about? We're doing good. We're doing great numbers.
I'm feeling great. Like, yeah, Oscar, we can tell you're feeling great. I don't know whatever it is you're on that's making you feel great, but you might want to get off that because I don't know. It's like when you and your girl actually can wear the same fucking thong, there might be a problem. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up the show for today. What a way to end off with his with Oscar's banana canoe, or what do they call it, banana something, banana hammock, his banana hammock on Instagram. But
Yeah.
we got some let's see what happens during the week so we can bring you guys more funny shit to talk about
He's
next.
the CEO of a sports company, bro.
Hmm.
We can say there's no one in the sports world that acts like him. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
I will say Vince McMahon is kind of the crazy motherfucker himself, the wrestling CEO has now gone away. But that dude was pretty whack. I don't think he's this whack. I mean, he's wacky, I should say. He's done some crazy shit. He has, but I don't know if he's maybe social media wasn't around back then. Maybe he would be doing this stuff. I
Yeah,
don't know.
true.
But
True.
regardless, the dude, like, there's stories about that guy, and it's funny, it's crazy as hell. But I don't know. Oscar, I think he still takes the cake. Jeez. Anyway, next weekend, I think we have Floyd Mayweather and John Gotti the third in their rematch of their fucking epic failure of their first match. We might go over it because we'll see what happens. It's going to be in Mexico City on the 24th. Between now and then, not made anything major as far as boxing goes, but we will be back next week to talk about the inner workings and see what happens between now and then, because this damn wacky sport of boxing, something always comes up. So thank you, as always, guys, for joining us. We appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to us yap for as long as we do. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.